In this video, I'm going to tell you about mistakes for a first-time gardener. What's going on, YouTube gardener? It's your boy Sydney from the Naked Gardener channel. If this is your first time to this channel and you're timid about gardening and would like to learn some of the DIY projects that we use, or even some of the recipes from the vegetables from our urban backyard garden, then start right now by making sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. If you're timid about gardening and don't want to make any mistakes, after watching this video, you're going to learn some of the mistakes of a first-time gardener. That way it will increase your chances of becoming a successful gardener in your first year. Now let's get growing. A mistake for a first-time gardener is a poor proper seed germination. Now, a lot of times first-year gardeners, they would sow their seeds directly into the soil, not knowing what type of soil that they have, and then expect it just to sprout up. You don't know what type of soil that you have. It's like, for instance, for us in Texas, we have a lot of clay soil, and that clay soil holds water. What you need to do is go to one of your big box stores and grab your seed starting mix. What you want to do is, you don't want to put your seeds directly into the ground, especially if you have clay soil, because once that seed starts to sprout, the roots are going to be saturated with water, and you're basically going to be drowning your seedlings, and you don't want that. It's not going to thrive from that. So what you want to do is get your seed starting mix, put it in there, let it sprout. Another mistake for a first-year gardener is that they would transplant their seeds out too soon. Once they get their seedlings finally germinated and they think they're nice and healthy, they're so excited, they want to get it into the ground. But what you want to do is harden off your seedlings. Now, by what I mean by harden off your seedlings is that you want to slowly acclimate your seedlings, so that way when you transplant them, it decreases the chances of any type of shock. So how do you do that, you say? Well, what you do is you take your plants, like this tomato plant, you will set it outside for anywhere about 30 minutes to an hour, and then increase that or double that each day up to about 7 to 14 days till you feel like the plant has a nice hardy stem and that you can be ready to plant it outside. Another mistake that most first-time gardeners do is not having the correct quality of soil. Like, for instance, this right here is a potting mix soil that we mix with a vermiculite, and we also added some compost over there that we did, so that way it's able to feed the soil, have some microorganisms in there, so that way it can also feed the plants. Now, you also want to have some type of aerations to help with aerations. So some people will add some perlite or some sand, so that way the roots is able to reach down and grab the amount of oxygen that it needs. Then they'll add some vermiculite to help retain some of the moisture content in there. So that way, if if it doesn't get enough moisture or rain, or you forget to water or whatever like that, some of the moisture will stay contact in there. Another mistake that most gardeners do in their first year of gardening is that not providing the correct amount of sunlight, as you can see under this tree. Most gardeners will think it's okay to plant underneath a tree or anything of that nature, but what your most plants need is anywhere from 4 to 8 hours of sunlight. Some plants require morning sun, some require evening sun, some require all day sun. So check your seeds. They will let you know if they need more sunlight, if they're okay with partial shade to sunlight, or needs a lot of shade. You'd be surprised what plants do and do not need a lot of sunlight. Another mistake for a first-time gardener is not allowing the adequate amount of spacing when they're doing their transplants or growing their vegetables. Each vegetable and plant has a allotted amount of square foot spacing and plants that you can grow in that particular area. And the reason for that, some plants are heavy feeders. Some, if you put two heavy feeders next to each other, one's going to thrive, one isn't. And once you see that one plant out of the two or however many that you planted in that allotted area, you want to make sure that you provide the amount of spacing for each plant and not overcrowd them. Another reason why mistakes happen for a first-year gardener is they kill the wrong type of beneficial insects, or they don't kill the right bugs at all. For the bad bugs or bad insects, you want to make sure you control the aphids, the spider mites, the tomato hornworms, and the slugs and the snails type of thing. The beneficial insects were going to be the butterflies, the ladybugs, the bees, and the lacewing bugs, because some of those are predators to those bad bugs, and a lot of them are help you pollinate your garden. So what you want to do, you want to stay away from any type of toxic sprays that kill the bug, but you want to go organically, like a BT spray, what we have here. Can you get that? Or you want to use a cold pressed neem oil. And what that would do is, once you spray it on the plants, the bad bugs will ingest it and will get on sometimes the eggs, the larvae, or the adult insect itself and mess up their digestive system. That way it alleviates them from continue munching on your plants. And it doesn't harm any type of beneficial insects, so that way your beneficial insects can continue to thrive and help pollinate your garden. Another reason why most mistakes happen for a first-year gardener is they plant the wrong seeds at the wrong type of the season. For instance, you don't want to plant your tomatoes toward the fall winter time frame, and likewise you don't want to plant your brassicas, your leafy products or leafy vegetables around the summertime, because it's going to allow your vegetables to bolt, go to seeds, and it changes the taste of that plant. So what you want to do is take a look at the back of that seed and look at it and see when's the best time to plant that seedling, so that way you get the best produce from that vegetable itself. Another reason why mistakes happen for a first year gardener is they're either under fertilizing or over fertilizing their plants, where they go through a whole season not fertilizing the plants, and they wonder why their plants wind up too small. Or they're over fertilizing, like I did in my first year, where I was adding bone meal, I was adding blood meal, I was adding worm casting, compost, Epsom salt, all of those types of granular fertilizer into the soil. And what I would do is I would just mix it up, and I would scratch it in about 2 to 3 inches of the plant beds itself every week. Just basically, luckily it was organic, so it didn't really harm it, but I was just wasting money. Some of that fertilizers that I could have been using for this year. So definitely don't want to over fertilize. Just do small portions, and a little bit will go a long way. Another mistake that most gardeners do in their first year garden is either overwatering or underwatering. Now, sometimes once they get their vegetables nice and going, what they wind up doing is they want to water their plants every day. And you don't want to really do that. You want to get anywhere from about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of watering for your plants, for each particular plant, depending on how hot the weather is. So you want to check the temperature, and it can all gauge from there. And what you need to do is check the temperature, or check how wet your soil is, by sticking your finger in there. Once you pull it out and your finger is a little bit moist, then you know you're fine from there. Now, you also want to check the weather forecast for the week. I'll normally do a 10-day forecast to check the weather, to let me know whether I should water my plants or not. And then from there, I give my plants a deep watering at least twice a week. And what I normally do is I'll just count to 10. And I'm done. For like container plants, I put a hole at the bottom of it, and what I would do is I'll just water it so when the water starts seeping out of there, and then once I start seeing the water seep out of there, I stop watering, and I do that, like I said, twice a week. If there's any mistakes that you made that I haven't listed, comment down below. Hopefully after watching this video, it will decrease your chances of any mistakes so that way you can become a successful gardener. If you have any friends or family members that are interested in gardening and scared to make a mistake, make sure you share this video with them. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. Now, we're not always on YouTube, so make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and join our Facebook page. I'll provide the links down below. I'm gonna put a playlist right here for you to continue watching some of the videos from our channel. And I'm also gonna put our link right here if you haven't done so already to subscribe to our channel. And as always, let's grow together.